pre-market poll. I'm sorry, with end of day report with yours truly, Dex the Agro Capitalist, aka the Vulcan, coming to you live from PulseWaveTrading.com. This is our Thursday night special edition end of day report that we get you ready for Take Back Friday and the intraday price inflection points that you need to know about. All right, starting off with Facebook is our first one that we got up here today. And as you can see here, we have a crash alert for tomorrow's trading, for Friday's trading. We have a crash alert. Looks like the market's going to try to fill the gap that it made back here. And the trend line support is our initial target for this. I know that the top of the Kumo cloud is here. All right, so you're looking at the top here to get reached first. All right, because that's the top of the Kumo cloud. So you got to go there first. And that should put it down at least another $5 or so. But we do got a bullish weekly trend momentum reading. But because it's Take Back Friday and we got the gap up, I think the market may be ready to back and fill tomorrow. So crash alert for Facebook. All right, so a close below $273.79 would equal a short-term top and open the door for more selling into next week for Facebook. All right, the next thing that we're going to look at here is nat gas. Okay, so on the futures report, for the loaded futures report, I updated the loaded futures report to equal the normal futures report. And so nat gas is on the loaded report as of tonight. All right, so here's your nat gas. We have a crash alert for tonight into tomorrow's trading for nat gas. Trend line support down here is the target, and that's going to put it down around the 250 mark on a correction. Okay, so yes, we got the bullish weekly trend momentum reading. Yes, the market bias was bullish, but it's now flip-flopped into a bearish sign, which means that we could be looking at a short-term top. So just be ready for that for Take Back Friday tomorrow. A close below 289 is bearish for nat gas for next week. All right, taking a look now at the Bitcoin not ETF, but the Bitcoin itself. Okay, cash market. As you can see here, the market is still on fire, trying to get up to around the 13.5 level. We'll see how much power it has in it, but that's where the cash market is trying to go. The market bias is still bullish. Like I always say, if you have a large enough profit built into here, you're going to want to start using some stops to lock in some profit. Now, remember that a Friday for cryptos starts Thursday night at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard New York time and lasts until 6 p.m. Sunday night, New York time. All right. I know that's a long Friday, but that's just how the crypto markets are designed, and that's just how they trade, because they trade nonstop. That's just how they do. That's how they close out their weeks. They close it out on a Sunday. All right. Don't ask me why that is. That's just how they do it. That's how they designed it. So that's what we got to go with. All right. So this market has until Sunday at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard New York time to close above 12,238 and 24 cents. All right. If it does not close above that, it will be a bearish sign. Now, I know that's a long way down, but Bitcoin can move and be quite fierce. So just be prepared for volatility. Right now, the market is locked in to a bullish bias. So at least you got that going for you, and the market is on fire. But just be careful. Bitcoin can do whatever it wants to do, whenever it wants to do it. All right, sticking with the crypto market, this is Ethereum, the cash market. You can see we have a bullish bias into the market now for bullish weekly trend momentum reading. And the market is giving up a lot of upside production from the rally alert. As long as Ethereum can close above $386.60, it should be good to go and maintain a bullish outlook into next week. All right, next we have Litecoin. Looking at the cash market and Litecoin. You can see here we're getting upside production from the rally alert, bullish weekly trend momentum reading, and as long as it can close above $50.69, I'm sorry, $50.6791. So 50.6791 is where it needs to close to maintain a bullish outlook into next week. And if you haven't noticed, these rally alerts have been spot on in these crypto markets all week long. All right, going now over to the Bitcoin ETF, the GBTC. You see the market bias is still to the long side. We got a bullish weekly trend momentum reading, but you do got these gaps down here that have to be reconciled at some point. Right now, this thing is acting like it wants to go to $15. So based on what happens tonight in the cash market could determine if we rally into tomorrow in the GBTC. You need to see a close above $13.63. Any close below that would be bearish and put in a short-term top. All right, moving right along. Now we're going to look at the Ethereum ETF. This is ticker ETHE. Okay, you see we got that upside production today from the rally alert from last night. And we got into the Kumo cloud here. The market bias is on the buy side. We have a bullish weekly trend momentum reading. As long as the market can close tomorrow above $55.63, it keeps that bullish window wide open for a continuation pattern into next week. All right, next we have gold futures. All right, so the gold futures market, this is how we're shaping up. All right, so you see here we have this bearish bias in the market, and just like I told you, it happened. We knew that coming into today that the rally would be sold because you're in a sell bias market, and yes, it did. Look how it came down and closed below the trend line support. So doing exactly what it says it will do. All right, so this pattern should continue until it doesn't. Gold needs to close tomorrow above $1,912.90 in order to maintain a bullish outlook into next week. A close below that keeps this bearish bias intact. All right, looking at the NASDAQ 100 futures contract, as you can see here, this one is flip-flopping, but it's not sharp though. It's not a strong one because we came into this with a bearish bias from the crash alert here. We got all this downside production. Then the market paused, started moving sideways. We got this rally alert coming in today, and we got no upside production whatsoever. Therefore, though, the bias is still to the buy side of the market with pullbacks being bid. But you got selling pressure because you got a bearish weekly trend momentum reading, which means this buy bias could be broken if we get enough selling pressure for Take Back Friday. So just keep that in mind. Right now, though, you got to ride with the long side bias, although it's not a strong one as of yet. So we'll see what happens. But this is also a little bearish pointer, so just be careful in this particular market because really the NASDAQ haven't given you anything this week. It's basically a flat market, nothing happening for you, unfortunately, but that's just how it is. Sometimes these markets will do that. You know, nothing will really happen, or you may get a little bit of action and that's it. But just be cautious. So you need a close above 11,711.75 in order to put in a short-term bottom and open the door for a rally. But as long as you close below that, it's going to keep a bearish overtone, which means this bearish weekly trend momentum reading will extend into next week. All right, here is silver futures. So silver futures has a crash alert for tonight into tomorrow's trading, threatening to fall out of the Kumo cloud and fall off the cliff. You have flip-flopped from a bullish to a bearish bias. All right, and you need a close tomorrow above $24.77. Failure to do that is a bearish outlook. All right, the Australian dollar alert. As you can see here, this one still has a bullish bias with all pullbacks being bid into the market, just like you did up in here. All this got bid right back up to the trend line resistance. As long as the Aussie can close above 0.7096, if it can do that, then it maintains a bullish outlook for next week. But a close below that would be very bearish for the Aussie. What about the euro dollar? Well, we got that bullish bias still. I know it's crazy. But I'm sorry, I said bullish. I mean bearish. It's a bearish bias. As you can see, prices have been steadily declining. And now the market is trying to get bullish, but then you see it get sold right back down. So that's what happens when you have a sell bias. All rallies get sold. 1, 2, 3, every attempt for broke it this time, but then you sold right back down into it. So that's what we expect. All right, so the euro would need to close above 1.1807. That's 118.07 in order to maintain a bullish outlook. All right, if it closes below that, though, it has a bearish outlook, and you're in the Kumo cloud, and also you have a bullish weekly trend momentum reading. But you know, we like to run the top and bottoms of the cloud. So now that you're at the top of the cloud, chances are it's going to reverse and then test the bottom of the cloud. Anything can happen, but just be prepared. Follow the reports to a T, and you should be good to go. All right, here is the pound sterling. Looking at that British pound, what do we got? We got a crash alert for tonight into tomorrow's trading. We have now flip-flopped from a bullish to a bearish bias, even with the bullish weekly trend momentum reading. The trend line support down here is the initial target. What will be needed is a close below 130.28. If you close below that tomorrow, then you know that bearish window is swung wide open for a continuation pattern to fall back to the trend line support. However, a close above that, though, gives a little bit more hope to the bulls, believe it or not, that they can try to wrestle back control of this market. So that is something that we are watching. All right, let's see here. I got a couple of requests, so let's see what we can do for you. Give me just a second. See what we can pull up. All right, you want to see that that Mexican, right? Mexican peso. All right, let's see what we got. See if I can do you a quick solid. All right, so here on the Mexican peso, here's how we're looking. We have a bearish bias in the market with all rallies being sold. All right, and you have a bearish weekly trend momentum reading. You've had back-to-back bearish momentum readings. Therefore, I expect prices to continue to fall. How much further? It's a good question. Are we going to put a new leg in, take out the prior supports, and keep falling? According to the algo charts, is suggesting that that is a possibility. However, as you know, we don't go by what things look like or what we think. We go by what the market tells us. So you want to follow the reports to a T on this one. A close, what's needed to put in a short-term bottom will be a close above 21.1454. All right, so 21.1454 puts in the short-term bottom. A close below that maintains the bearish outlook and the bearish bias going into next week on the Mexican peso. All right, let's see what else we got. All right, I see you. You want to take a look at the MMJ group, all right, on the Australian exchange. Okay, here's what we got. All right, so this one is trying to decide what it wants to be when it grows up. You got this massive bullish pointer right here, and you're correcting off of this extraordinary run up, right? And that came from this rally alert right here. All right, so now what's happening is you got some flip-floppage within the consolidation phase. You had a crash alert here, but then you got no production. Flipped, got a rally alert, got no production. Flipped again, got a crash alert, and now you're starting to possibly see some downside production. If that is the case, then the trend line support is the target. We do have a bearish bias now built into the market with a bearish weekly trend momentum reading. All right, so a close over 0.108007 is needed in order to put in a short-term bottom and try to retrace back up to the pointer. Any close below that, though, would be bearish for this particular security. All right, let's see what else. Let's see, you say you want to see CWY. All right, CWY. Let's see what we got. Cleanway Waste Management. Okay, let's take a look. Cleanway Waste Management. All right. Okay, so this one, make it big enough so you can see it. All right, here's what happened. So you have a bearish bias coming into this week with this crash alert. Waited a couple days before it gave us downside production, and then boom, here's the downside production. The bias is still to the sell side of the market. We got a bearish weekly trend momentum reading as well. What is needed to put in a short-term bottom? A close above $2.22 will be needed to put in a short-term bottom. Okay, as long as it closes below that, though, if it stays below it, then that's going to be very bearish going into next week, and you could really see a very strong pullback into this particular market. All right, and last but not least, you want to see PHX. A PHX, and that one is on the TSC. All right, let's see what we got here. All right, so that's I got a couple of, you said it's on the TS. Okay, Toronto Exchange. Okay, gotcha. So that's PHX Energy Services. All right, gotcha. All right, so this one here is. All right, so we have a bearish weekly trend momentum reading. You got a bullish bias, which means pullbacks are being bid in the market for right now. And you got a rally alert, and you got some upside production today, which is great. So a close above $1.46 is needed to keep this bullish outlook going into next week. A close below that, though, would be bearish. All right. All right, you guys, that's all I got time for today. I need to go run and get dinner. As you know, there will be no end of day reports tomorrow, and there may or may not be any pre-market pulse scans as well. It's been a very busy week here for me, so I have not been able to do consistently those pre-markets. So we'll start a clean slate out for Monday for next week. All right, so you guys know what it is, man. You got your marching orders. And remember, bulls make money, bears make money, and pigs get slaughtered. So remember to take what you can and give nothing back. And I will see ya in the trading room. Peace out.